Rolling.
Hello,
Hello,
I am Duke,
I am Moulage.
and we have a special mask to review today because this is one that's gotten quite a lot of buzz in the community over the past several years. What do we have today, Moulage?
This is a Bulgarian PF90.
And as some people would like to claim on r/gas masks and elsewhere, this is what they expect us to believe is the best mask in the world. So we're going to be taking a look at every minute detail of this thing and telling you what we think of it. So why don't you start with the history, because I think you've researched this thing a little bit more than I have.
Yeah, there's not an awful lot on it. For starters, this particular mask was made in 2008. We'll get to the roundel later. It has a very clear, easy to read roundel on the cheek. Very simple design.
Always want that.
Yeah,
I always hate it when I can't find the dates on my specific gas masks and when they were made, so that's good to know.
Yeah, like your ridiculous horde of M17s where you're trying to get one from every single company, from every single production cycle.
Oh, you know the problems I've been having with trying to find every single M17 from every single company.
Yeah,
Flexing
and
them on
production
Reddit.
cycle, and he's been getting into the old numbers and stuff. I think it's some kind of mental disorder.
I think I have the only first serial Firestone M17 in existence, and that everyone on Reddit should worship me now.
Yes, that's the most important thing, is that the hobby is now about M17s. Everything else doesn't fucking matter.
But can this compare to an M17?
Alright, that's a hard ticket to sell, hard ticket to punch, but we're gonna give it a shot. So so basically Bulgaria, obviously after the Soviet Union fell, and they still probably could, but they wanted to look at developing their own mask. The zebra plant, which we all know for making zebra rubber, well known for making the PG1, which is a incredibly good, cost-efficient civilian mask, very easy to manufacture.
Very loose clone of the, well, not entirely loose, very reminiscent of the Czech CM4.
I'd say it's a little bit better. Actually,
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would definitely take any zebra rubber product over anything Gumari Zubri has done, because these guys did not sell out to Miro. So
that's a bold statement in this day and age.
It really is. It's a bold statement to say, no, this is our product and we'll sell it at our price, and we don't need someone in the U.S., we don't need some yank telling us, how much our products are worth and naming them. I mean, literally fucking naming your products for you. Have some balls. Make your own shit.
And they don't even make these anymore. If this is the best mask ever, what could have gone wrong? Why do they no longer sell these?
These are good questions. I mean, everything looks good. You have your good standard quality Romanian filter.
Romanian?
I'm sorry. Romanian.
They're such good quality that you can't
I got
tell
it
the
confused,
difference.
man. The Romanian stuff is so good. I was looking at the nice, it looks like a hamburger. I want to eat this. It's got that nice
That is the only metric that matters in terms of gas masks, is if you want to eat it like a hamburger.
Exactly. Well, I'm not going to put it that way, but this is it's a good filter. It's got this really nice crackle paint finish on it. It sits very well in your hand.
Oh, let me take a look at that. There's actually, wow, there's rust inside of this already. So that, you don't even have to worry about any damage. It comes with the damage for you. It's dented, so it's like, you know what that's for? No, you know what?
No, let's try it. Let's try the onset.
The mask has a side. The filter is dented, so it hangs down lower, and I can't.
It's like German over-engineering with the M2000. You could swing it to the side. Here, you just hit it against a rock or something, and it swings out of the way.
Yeah, see, it's angled down just that little bit much because it's kind of already sticking out. They need that extra angle so it doesn't put as much weight on the head. Also, I can't thread this thing in all the way. That's how the ingenuity of the Bulgarians.
Both parallel and interference threaded.
You can't. The threads on this are so tight, you don't even need to make a gasket seal. That's how good the tolerances are. You don't need to worry about this mask ever sealing against the gasket. Completely normalized, as the kids are calling it.
The other really cool thing on this mask, this seals so tight, I had to use a pair of vice grips to get it off originally.
That's quality.
Is you've got this, and this is a piece of plastic with rubber wrapped around it. All these little tines here, these are all rubber. And it's really cool, because this thing seals in like a bitch. It was tight as fuck in there.
Wow.
The whole side port is incredibly tight lockup. You want to give that a shot?
Yeah, because I noticed this metal clamp there with the incredibly rusted screw holding it in place. I think what that's for is additional tolerance adjustment. See, I can't even get this in as far without feeling like I'm about to crack the plastic. So like that's a good sign already.
So yeah, you should be able theoretically to do that. They did a lot of space age stuff here, a lot of double and triple checking. A lot of these parts have a shit ton of rubber cement around the edges. This had a bit of rubber cement on it as well. You just got to be safe.
Who needs that side port anyways? Only the people that know what they're doing need that side port, because that's a tactical feature, and you don't want to be able to have access to that unless you know what you're doing. So the damage is at your own risk.
It's like what Avon does, where you have to be like a tier 3 Reddit subscriber, Patreon subscriber, if you want to swap the swap the blanking plugs on FM53 with dual cheek filters. You actually have to be subscribed to Avon's Patreon to do that.
It's just common sense, folks. Let's talk about the amazing, radical head harness design. I mean, let's see here. We got a head pad which is made out of a rubberized fabric material. That's all pretty par for the course. Doesn't seem to be any description of a donning loop, but it is made of elastic. You can't have a head harness without elastic. I mean, what are you, a caveman?
So you've got 2 straps up here. These 2 temple straps are completely independent. And then the really cool thing. Now, they did copy this from Soviet masks, but it's a very good idea.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, folks.
I mean, guys, it's Generation 4, Generation 5 even. We should all know what we're doing by now.
This thing was co-designed around the same time as the C4, the S10. It's easily on par for either of those masks.
Oh, totally, 100%. So you don't adjust the side strap. It just comes around and loops through them and goes back to the head harness and then back down.
And it's so tight, like it gets so misaligned that it basically forces you to be more conscious about how to put on your head harness. It basically makes sure that you don't put this thing on misaligned, because you'll feel it. You'll feel it. So that's a good feature. Zero risk of having the head harness out of adjustment, because it will force you to feel that if it is. Let's see.
You want to talk about you're always the drinking tube guy.
Oh!
I'll be right back.
The drinking tube. Let's see. So, the drinking tube is very similar to like the Soviet PMK-1, PMK-2. I know those are kits. Bite me. It wraps around the entirety of the inlet and front voice emitter assembly, similar to not dissimilar to like a Swiss SM60, not SM60, SM91.
No, it's
SM90,
just SM90.
Right. So that's how revolutionary this mask is. I forget about all the other ones it's based off of. So you have a pocket down at the chin, similar to a PMK-1. You pull that out. Oh man, it's so tight. Like that's how you know you're not going to lose it. That's like ridiculously tight, and there's just barely enough, tube to hold it to reach that position. So yeah. Also, you have to like unthread it and like pull it off of that, and
it's a double safety measure.
It's a double safety measure, like you said. You want to be absolutely sure you know what you're doing when you unwrap this thing, because you're not going to have a good time getting it back together. Also, it's already rotten. Again, more of those like. It's pre-worn, it's pre-damaged, so you don't have to worry about it getting, a little bit tattered in the field. There's already dry rot on this. This is a brand new mask. Am I wrong in that assumption?
Well, 2008. I don't know.
New old stock.
It's kind of funny actually. You'll see these, and you'll see some of these used. You'll see a lot of old Soviet stuff used, and then mostly these days they don't even use these anywhere. It's all Avon products.
And this is better than Avon, because look, if you look down here. That's the outlet valve. That's bottom drainage.
Moisture drainage.
Moisture drainage. That's something that Avon can't do. That's clearly better than everything else on the market. Let's see, what else? The lenses, elephant in the room. Those lenses, completely flat, so you don't have to worry about like getting scratches as much, because there's not as much surface area, even though they're larger.
They're nice and recessed into the face piece.
Oh yeah, those are going to be super close to your face, but they're also like super large, so it's like, It basically forces you have to be a Giga Chad if you wear this mask, because you can't really there's very minimal amount of tolerance for how many different faces this can fit, because of these lenses and how much space they take up on the face piece.
So, and I think that's mostly the outside stuff. There's a couple other things on here,
like the harness buckles and how they're lockable and how that's a necessary feature.
They for some reason they felt like that was the only part of the SM90 that they needed to copy. It's very SM90 style. I know the S10 does that as well, but I think this with that little metal bail is more SM90 stuff. So
there's a little bit of this buckle has started to come out of the little post on the face blank there. I think that's the feature, isn't it? That has to
I'm
be.
sure that's
they wouldn't have done it if it wasn't a feature.
So metal clamp. This is metal clamped. This is
Metal clamped.
This is metal clamped.
It's also dual outlet valve. Great value. Very cool.
No, it's not.
What?
It's not dual outlet valve.
It isn't. Well, you don't need it anyways.
This is a speech diaphragm. We'll get to that in a moment once we turn it inside out.
Why don't we talk about the accessories first before we move on to the inside?
Let me check the camera real quick.
Yeah, you do that. We already talked about the filter. There's not much else to say.
I'm going to set it right so like the bag's in the center and you've got from about there to
the carrier is okay. I believe this is mostly cotton. Making cotton.
It's better than the Chinese ones.
It's better than the Chinese ones. That's the only margin you need to know. It's reinforced with like a piece of sheet rubber on the inside of the carrier. I don't really know what that's about.
It's like that really thick pad that you see on the inside of like a PBF bag or like
it's like
bag.
reinforcement. They gave it double reinforcement and it's flexible. This isn't plastic, folks. It's not going to crack on you. This is hard rubber. Also, the waist strap, they're still using the Chinese toggles. Like you're not going to have to worry about that coming.
That's just a little fucking plastic bead right there.
Yeah, like that's fine. It's better than the OM90's carrier. And you got a belt loop.
Ouch!
Oh yeah, I called them on that. Their stupid shoelace. Yeah.
Fucking assholes.
Anyways, that just you got that strap. That's fine. It's a neat woodland pattern because everyone loves woodland nowadays. That's what's in vogue. I
No
guess.
more Forever Wars. We're going back to fighting other white people.
You got the strap tucked into there. You got the non-removable, non-detachable shoulder strap, so you couldn't really use this thing for hip carry even if you wanted to, beside using the belt loop. But yeah, that's just integral. You have Velcro. That's something you don't see very often on carriers of this region. Velcro. That's some space-age shit right there, buddy. You got some flaps for covering the sides of the lid or the opening so nothing really gets in there, even though it totally can. You got
random ass pouches on the inside.
Yeah, what does this hold? I don't know, maybe
let's show them that.
Yeah, let's get the pre-filter off.
Don't break it, that plastic's dog shit.
Oh, I know. It's a feature.
All of this. All this plastic is fucking dog shit.
Oh yes, still using anti-fog crayons in the year of our Lord 2008. We got 2 sets of filter caps, double the value, just in case you lose a set. Like this one is even dummy corded, and this one isn't. Just you have some spares. You have options.
Yeah, it's not dummy corded because when I got it, one of those was still installed underneath the fucking paper filter.
Oh yeah, that's like again, you have to know what you're doing before you handle this. See, I couldn't do it. I have to have an expert like Moulage teach me how to do this stuff because like. Yeah, look at all. I don't know if you can see that, but that's like pre-rusted inside there. Like that's a feature. That's quality. This is made by this is hardy workmanship right here. You can't get any better and more rugged than that. The drinking system. I only halfway covered the drinking system. Let me pull that back over here and give you guys a better look. So, looking at this, you would assume just at first glance this is based off of the US M1 quick detach drinking system, and you're right.
Hold it up for the camera real quick. So
it is based off that, but it is not compatible. It's a similar system, but it's entirely proprietary. You cannot you can probably. I don't know. I haven't tested it, so I don't want to say it can't.
There's no fucking way. Let me see that real quick.
Yeah, it's an M1 QD, but it's non-compatible with like a US M1 QD, so it's proprietary, even though it's the same design overall.
It's this weird little single bar plastic thing. It's
metallic actually.
Oh my god.
But they anodized it, unlike the PMK. More like PM gay, am I right?
PM faggot.
The drinking cap has a little so I think this is bent the wrong way. This is tucked underneath here, but who needs to deal with this, right? These are so annoying. You don't need to actually bend this back and install it on your canteen to prevent it from, falling off. It just tucks right here. You don't want to use that. That's out of the way. That's fine. So this, I assume, threads onto like any standard Soviet canteen, just based off of the diameter and the thread pitch. That's what I'm assuming at this point. But I could be wrong. I'm not an expert.
We don't really care enough to pull out a Soviet can. So,
let's see, is there anything else I didn't cover with the accessory lineup?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, so why don't we move on to the interior?
Yeah, you want to man the camera for a bit?
Oh, sure. This will be your cup of tea. Why don't you show us about the nose cup, Moulage?
I think I will. So obviously now we're looking at the inside of the mask. Massive ass peripheral seal.
Which is very akin to like the PMK3. The top of the peripheral seal actually inverts itself over your head, and it's just like double the protection. It's basically like a Schlem Maska.
It really loves flexing and bending and biting and being kind of stupid.
You don't need to worry about ergonomics when you just have a bunch of loose rubber shoved in your face.
Correct. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some people have trimmed these back a lot.
Oh yeah, it definitely looks hand trimmed just from where I'm standing.
So we'll start with the basics. The first thing you see when you open the mask. The first thing you will feel when you put the mask on is the nose, or the drinking tube, immediately going up one of your nostrils, because fuck you.
On me, what I immediately felt is the outlet valve protruding into the chin, right down there. You got some plastic spokes that are visible on that. If I can zoom in, you can sort of see that. Those spokes on that outlet valve valve seat, yes. Those little spokes will poke you right in the chin. There is such a massive amount of like that's the chin cup is right up against that. That's going to poke you right in the chin, which is like, you know, it basically tells you that you're wearing the mask. That's important. You don't want to put on the mask and like not feel like you're wearing it, right? It's like
same thing here. There's more fucking pokey bits down here.
Oh yeah, that's how the nose cup is retained. There's 4 little pegs or stems of rubber that are molded onto the face blank that are protruding through holes in the nose cup, and then there's a plastic plate that sandwiches it all in place. It's a very ingenious system. It's so simple but so effective, and I can't see that breaking or failing in any sort of conditions whatsoever.
Speaking of breaking and failing, that's the voice diaphragm.
The voice diaphragm? Oh yeah, that's just a sheet of plastic, completely unprotected. You can poke that with whatever the hell gets in the face piece. So but it unscrews from the front. Not that I could, because it felt like it was going to break when I tried to do it.
I don't trust this enough to unscrew it, no.
Not that you'd want to, because, you know, you need to be an expert to handle this thing. But, like, if you wanted to, you could. You could replace that voice membrane, because that's, like, Soviet-tier ingenuity. That's, like, they're thinking of the absolute worst possible scenario that you can replace that whenever you want.
The nose cup, again, this whole thing's fucking massive.
It's based on the S6, so, like, it has to be the best in the world.
Over here, there's one of your side, that's your side.
Look at the abundance of rubber cement. That's how you know that they sealed this thing properly.
Just all over the fucking place. I had to unclamp this and take it off entirely when I was trying to remove this little bitch.
You gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet, Moulage. Why don't you show off the other inlet valve?
We're not making an omelet.
See, the inlet valve for the nose cup, like the actual nose cup valve disc.
How do I even get to that?
What?
How do I get to this from the inside?
Oh, let me see.
Oh, wait.
Don't push it out of alignment. I spent a very long time getting that nose cup aligned.
I'm not sure we can get to that, actually.
Yeah, we can't really show you we
cannot show you the inlet valve. It is over-engineered.
But we can show you the nose cup valve disc on this side, where you can see it's just kind of loosely protruding into the side there. It's so when you inhale, the air circulates around the inside of the lenses and comes in through here, but yet this is right up against your cheek, so air couldn't really get in there if you wanted it to, because it's also like consistently this valve.
It's more plastic stabbing you in the face, because that's what this mask is about.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's that this valve disc sits over the edge of the peripheral seal, so it effectively breaks the seal on that. And it's right up against your cheek. That's not going to really let any air through, unless it's like, you know. Well, see, no, actually, you know, I take it back. They thought of that. They put the peripheral seal. They made it so that it sits underneath the side inlet valve there for the nose cup. Because if you do have a fat face and your face does press up against that that nose cup valve disc, it'll still let air in, because the seal is consistently broken on that at all times.
Yeah, it's a self-unsealing seal.
Yeah. Why don't you talk to us about the lens frames? Because that seems like a really low profile and cool design there.
I don't even know what the fuck is going on here.
They base it off of the PMG, where it's like a metal crimp, but then they put like some sort of rubber tape over it.
No, that's...
Maybe it's double... You're off camera.
Yeah, I'm showing you. That's face piece. That's face piece rubber.
Oh my god, that is.
What if there's...
It's double molded. They're so advanced, they created a second lip that goes over the metal crimp to protect it.
I don't even know how they installed these fuckers. Maybe they just injection molded around the entire goddamn thing when they made it.
See, that's quality. That's ingenuity. That's how you know that you're dealing with some serious level of intellectualism.
And of course, they also glued the shit out of it. I don't even know how the fuck they installed these. I'll be real with you.
You don't need to know. That's not on your skill level.
This is glass. This is just fucking glass, folks.
It doesn't scratch as easily as polycarbonate. It's clearly the better option.
Which is why there's no outsert system.
Yeah, you don't need outserts when you have glass lenses that don't scratch as easily. Like, it's just common knowledge, people. Duh.
There's just, look at this. Fucking, let's just have a massive, this is 1, 2, 3... 3 different fucking massive-ass screws just hanging out, rusting away, ready to catch on your drinking tube and fuck them up.
It eliminates any suspension of disbelief that this needs to be a high-quality product. This is rugged. This is again, like I said earlier, they've allowed it to damage itself so that you don't have any sort of, illusions of grandeur that this is a mask that you need to baby. This is a mask that can take a beating. The
difference between this and something like a fucking... Serbian M2F or whatever, is that the M2F has a lot of replaceable features, but they used fucking plastic that doesn't rust. Plastic quality? At least they copied like the fins and did some good stuff with it, improved on the M9 in some ways, borrowed from other countries. But that's
cheap. That's lazy. This is like an original design. This might be the last indigenous gas mask design in the world, and you're not giving it enough praise. Clearly, you're not the intelligent one here.
I don't even know. You know what? I'm going to grab some filters. We're going to see what kind of thread this bitch is.
I'm sure it'll fit with everything just as nicely as it fit with the filter it came with.
This is a...
It's like a...
Oh, AMF12.
AMF12. FM12 filter. Let's see how well that fits. Because obviously with a Gauss filter, that was like normalized. Like that was so tight, I couldn't even thread it all the way on. I can't even thread this one on. That's how... It's preventing you from using, like, bourgeoisie, Western technology. You don't need it.
The name of this mask is I do not think Australians are particularly intelligent. And that's its full name. This thing. I didn't name it.
Did you want the filter off of it?
Yeah, I did, but I went over to pick it up and just fell apart. Kind of like your average Australian when someone calls them on being a fucking douchebag. So.
Let's see if this Russian filter will thread in. And in fact it does. So this is a Gauss mask and it's getting a little bit tight right there.
It is a 4th gen Gauss mask made after the fall of the Soviet Union.
I don't know if that's actually up against the gasket or not, but you don't need to worry about it because again, it's so tight that it doesn't really matter. It's even tighter.
Dude, we got to get a screwdriver or something later and loosen this. But folks, I'm pretty sure that this tightness is directly related to how hard you clamp down on the shitty piece of plastic, which is just insane.
Also, there's no clamp holding on the drinking tube. If you wanted to, you could just rip that out, just jettison it, just in case you ever needed to. It's a feature. I'm gonna try. Oh, notice how the drinking tube has actually discolored the rubber. That's good quality materials right there. That's like you want the materials to interact with each other to let you know when the mask is going to expire. If it gets too rotten, that's when you know to replace it. It's like it changes color based on the age.
It's incredible. We're seeing the first fucking mask where there's like planned obsolescence in the form that the mask will literally fucking kill itself.
It does that from the very beginning. Like I'm pretty sure some of this was just like that from the factory.
Usually I can, put filters on a mask and like put certain filters on it and say, okay, now it looks good. It looks good in this setup, right? Added a hose to it. I don't think we can do anything to this mask to make it not look fucking awkward as shit.
I think you're too critical, because this is obviously the best mask ever, as we've been told numerous times.
I would take the North Korean mystery mask over this.
Well, I'm gonna bring that out and compare it and see what that
We have
offers.
a fucking North Korean mystery mask. The plastic, I would say the quality is better than this.
Okay, the nose cup isn't inside of it right now, but we're just gonna ignore that because that thing was impossible to get back inside. Let's yeah, here we go. Here's the North Korean mask, which is
Overall, a lot better. There's a lot more features. They used, I mean, yeah, it's still steel, but these clamps are not fucking rusting.
and they're not screw clamps, so it's like it's non-user serviceable.
I always forget how fucking tiny this thing is.
Well, yeah, it's for North Koreans. It's not like they grow a whole lot.
No, they do not. Plastic.
But it doesn't rust.
Well, no, I'm saying this is better quality. That's where I was going with that.
Well, it still uses the same filter plugs. It has a double outlet valve. And
unlike this.
it has a fully protected voice. Wait, let me double check on that. Let's see. Again, ignore the lack of a nose cut. Oh! Okay, so the North Koreans can actually protect their voice diaphragms. That's interesting.
Maybe this one does have a double. It has to be a double, because literally I'm feeling both outsides.
Yeah.
It's literally that fucking.
Okay, so they're both double outlet, but you know that's just a sign of quality. The head harness could be independently adjusted. That's kind of interesting. I don't know.
This is a true 5-point. This is not a 6. I would not call this a 6-point.
The peripheral seal seems a lot cleaner in design. Like it actually doesn't seem like it'll fucking reverse itself when you put it on your face. The lenses look like I mean, if they wanted to, they could accept some form of outsert system, or at least they look more readily replaceable.
At least they used a lot of Soviet standard hardware. They did some kind of stupid things, like obviously you can't put a side filter here.
They could have if they wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, you just punch another hole. This is the only one where it's not even. I would not call this ambidextrous. I would call this mocking the left-handed, which they deserve anyway. But
hey, you can put the filter in different positions, and it has a drinking tube, so it's definitely better than that, right? Definitely, ignore the fact that the molding is better, that the fucking nose cup arrangement makes more sense, the harness is independently adjustable, the voice diaphragm is protected.
I almost wonder if they pull this from the fucking BEM4GP, because that would be funny as fuck.
I don't think anyone even thinks about that mask, to be frank. Except the Taiwanese, but we don't talk about them.
I would take a BEM4GP with a broken drinking tube system over this, because at least you could get that fixed before Ingicom went out of business.
I would take this, honestly. If I was given the choice between a PG90, you have to be. What was that joke you said earlier?
PF90. Yeah, you have to be PG90 because you have to be over 90 years old to
appreciate this, because anything you would have
you have to be
experienced a World War One veteran.
Yeah, you have to be a World War One veteran
to appreciate this thing.
That's the joke.
Yeah, I would take this. I would take the North Korean mask over this personally. It has features that are better.
It has better features.
More better features, but you can't get those. You can get these, and clearly these are the best mask on the market right now.
You will never get this. You will never get this. Check the camera. Are you still both in the frame, or are you doing?
Yeah, we're doing good.
Okay.
Well, I think that pretty much covers it. I mean, what else can we really say about the PF90 other than that? Remember, it's the best mask ever.
I mean, I'm kind of looking around this room. We got a bunch of shit in here. I would, you know what? Pulling one more. Not going to talk.
I'm gonna get the Nork off the table.
Honestly, I'd take this over it any day of the week.
Well, let's see what it has going for it. Let's see. Parts that might rust if you mistreat them, but aren't rusted right now. It's user serviceable.
This thing was made in the 40s, retrofitted in the 60s.
Don't have to worry about the head harness not adjusting properly. There's no ports that are misaligned.
All of this is off the shelf. I could literally strip this down to single pieces of material and back in like an hour. Fabric.
There's less places for the parts to leak.
This is okay. This is this is fraud, waste, and abuse.
I hope they. What you don't know, but if they recycle this plastic is recycled, they're so conscious about the environment they recycle. They probably didn't do that.
I don't think there's a word for recycling in Bulgarian.
Such
as
as life.
Bulgarians watching this, we're not ripping on you.
Yet. People on Reddit said it's the best mask ever. So I don't know what you can't understand.
hate Redditors.
I think you're racist.
I am. Whoa, against Redditors. Whoa. Whoa. And Australians. Almost got me there.
I almost got him, folks.
You almost got me. I think we're done.
It's a feature. Look at that. It's a feature. You can see the rust now. It's so great. It's such a great design, guys. I'd buy one. Buy them. So they're so fucking good that Bulgaria doesn't even make them anymore. They stopped producing them in like the 2010s.
They didn't make a lot of these.
They didn't make a lot. Yet somehow there's a surplus market of them. They didn't make that many, but they don't make them anymore, and they're still in fucking service. But there's a surplus market. That's not a red flag whatsoever. That's fine. That's normal. You can just do that. Fuck you.